Today we're going to demo the edgeMED billing software solution. This is 100% cloud-based, so a user can access this from virtually any computer, laptop, or tablet. Each user is given their own unique login and password, which will be role-based. Administrators are able to set different defaults and what they can and cannot access. I've went ahead and logged in. We're looking at the home screen. The dashboard is broken up into 4 quadrants. In the top left, you'll get a charges snapshot, which will show provider charges and provider payments. Bottom left, you'll get an aging snapshot, so you can see what's owed and how long it's been outstanding. We then take a subset and let you know what payers owe you the most amount of money. Top right, system data is a managerial overview. This is showing us all unbilled encounters versus what's ready to send. Claims, this is going to show everything sent electronic, dropped to paper, or if anything has come back for any reason. ERAs are going to come back into the edgeMED solution electronically. Finally, we have online patient bill pay. So from home, patients can log in and pay their bills, and when they do, it shows up right here on the dashboard. The last quadrant, the alerts, this is simply an actionable menu. So when that user logs in, they know it has to be performed. We're going to start with encounters in the top left. Now, if you're using the EHR module, these clinical encounters are going to come over seamlessly, no data entry. They'll show up under this unbilled tab. If you're using this as a standalone billing product, instead you would come up here and click New Encounter. Now there are a couple efficiencies. One, the system will remember the patient's last visit. So it's going to pull forward the last time we billed place of service, rendering provider, billing provider, and the diagnoses codes. This is simply a setting, so this could be turned off if you want to start with a blank slate. Another convenience is going to be procedure macros. It's your routine visits, so you're not manually coding these routine visits day in and day out. And a macro is any combination of diagnoses and CPT codes. You'll be able to nickname. Let's go ahead and load in Alzheimer's. So as you saw, it populates my corresponding diagnoses and CPTs. If I want, I can add modifiers. We offer real-time claim submission. That's not for your organization. We offer batched submission, and I'll touch more on those in just a second. Managed claim lets me print or download the HCFA form. I also want to point out that we are UB04 equipped. Notes are back office. This is shared between staff, supervisors. You could even turn this note into an alert that would pop up. And then the last thing to note is going to be the events tab. This is simply an audit log. It gives ownership to what each staff member has performed in this encounter. If somebody came in, changed the diagnoses, it will record their name, date, time, and what changed. Moving over to the claims tab. Now, if these claims were not yet sent, they were batched, they'll show up under this tab to send electronic, and maybe a supervisor reviews them one last time before we check them all off together. And then we can send them. What if a claim comes back for some reason? If a claim does come back, it'll show under the appropriate tab. And let's take a deeper dive into rejections. We're going to indicate the rejection and break this down line by line as to what was accepted versus what was rejected and why. In this instance, it was the ICD code. I'm sorry, the diagnoses code. From the same queue, somebody could come in, reopen that encounter, make the change, and resubmit it. Insurance payments. So your ERAs are going to come back into the system electronically. They're going to come in as unapplied. So we'll be able to open them and work them. For today, I'm just going to pull up an example. We're going to look at an incoming Aetna payment. It starts very high level, so it'll indicate $1,400 was paid out. It was an EFT, check number, insurance, payment date. Down the left-hand side, you'll see the patients that we were paid out on. Looks like 10 of them. Nathan being the first, it'll show his service date, revenue codes, and if I want to see the details, those will be shown below. The edgeMED solution is offering visual cues. In this case, we're flagging the user. The allowed amount is less than the expected rate, so you're not getting paid what you thought you were. In this instance, I might want to leave it open because I don't want to post it for a loss. If I do leave it open, that's going to kick it over to denial management. Now, before we get there, maybe I want to post the first line item. This was a successful payment. If you see the re-queue column checked off, that's letting you know that this patient has a secondary and the system is going to automatically re-queue it and send it for you. Last thing, you're able to view the physical ERA and compare that to what the software is telling you behind. So yes, this matches, what the incoming payment is. All right, looking deeper into this flagged line item. Because it was left open, it does get kicked back to denials. The system is reading the denial codes, and perhaps this is a work queue. We're reading the denial codes, we're indicating a description even. You're able to create your own statuses and update these and work them accordingly. We even offer appeal letter templates that you're able to generate. The appeal letters will automatically populate the insurance, the patient's name, the date, all the pertinent information, so you don't have to recreate this outside of the system. All right, moving over to patient responsibility. Statements can be generated from the system. They'll show up under this pending queue. Now, you can simply print and mail them yourself or email them to the patient. Another option would be to use a printing service where they will print and mail them for you. Just point up an example statement here. We have all the address information. Pay online is front and center, so we're driving the patient to make payment online. And then it breaks down the visit details. Below that, you'll see a messages box. You can add both standard messages that go on every single statement, or you could add a personal one-off message that just goes to one individual patient. Lastly, on this tab, statements, we keep track of what's pending, what's been printed, bad debt, or collections. You can set up automated triggers for them to push over to bad debt and then collections as well. If you do work with a collections agency, or if you have somebody outside the organization doing or managing these collections, you can export this as a CSV report, which is Excel, or a PDF. The last two things to highlight in today's demo is going to be eligibility and reports. You can run a spot check on any patient at any time. You'll put in their demographics. It'll then indicate what their insurance is, their copay, their deductible, how much they've allocated for certain types of visits. Now, taking that one step further, you can also run a specific CPT code against the patient's insurance. All right, the last thing to cover today is going to be the reports. We offer all the standard canned reports from revenue to aging, a series of transaction-related reports, patient ledger, keep track of staff use and what they're doing, master user report. Down here with this reports button, you can open up the system to report on any field you want. You're able to build your own reports on demand, favorite them, so you can then continue using them over and over again. Let's just take a look at the charge transaction. All the reports are based on the same drag and drop technology, so we'll go ahead and sort this first by place of service. and then rendering provider, CPT code. So now it's neatly organized. I could add in columns. So maybe I want to look at the total payment amount and the outstanding balance. I could filter data points in or out. Maybe I just want to zoom in and just focus on 99214 and remove everything else. I could do that through filters. Then the favorites, once you build your own report, favorite it. So that way you're not having to build this each and every time. All right, another report I do want to just pull up, aging. We do split insurance versus patients. We're looking at it from an insurance perspective. We can either view it summary form or group it by responsible party. If I want to see the details or per visit, those will be shown below. Again, you're able to create your own favorite reports, adding or removing columns, filter data in or out. We include phone numbers in the AR report too. That's it for today's demo. We appreciate your time and taking a look at the edgeMED billing software solution.